saving money while conserving natural resources. All it takes is a plan, a blueprint for a greener restroom. Thank you for choosing Falcon water-free urinals. They are proven to reduce costs while conserving water, the world's most precious natural resource. This sophisticated technology provides cleaner restrooms around the globe in places such as the Rose Bowl in Pasadena, California, London's Heathrow Airport, and the Taj Mahal in India. Falcon water-free urinals operate on simple principles, but represent the world's most advanced technology. Our unsurpassed research and development ensures worry-free and efficient operation. Every facility can realize significant savings, conserving an average of 40,000 gallons of water per unit per year. That's enough water to fill 6 tanker trucks. The urinal system connects to a standard drain line. There's no flush valve assembly and no water supply hookup. Installation is easy, fast, and costs less than traditional water-fed urinals. The patented sealed cartridge acts as a drain trap so that all of the fluid passes into the cartridge through a unique biodegradable sealant and into the drain. Since it uses no water, the Falcon water-free urinal saves 100% of the water and sewer costs associated with flush urinals. Both of these costs are sure to rise in the future. No flush valve means zero costs to repair stuck, broken, or leaky valves. No water supply means avoiding costly cleanup of flooding due to clogged drains or mischief makers. Daily maintenance is a quick spray and wipe process, so less time and cleaning solution is needed. It all adds up to lower maintenance costs. The sealant liquid lasts the life of the cartridge. There's no need to add sealant between changes. After approximately 7,000 uses, the cartridge is easy to change, 3 to 4 times a year in typical facilities. Extensively tested in government agencies, leading economic institutions, and private laboratories, this independent testing confirms that Falcon water-free urinals produce more hygienic restrooms with less odor than flush urinals. That's because there are no wet surfaces to breed bacteria and viruses, and there's no water flush to create an aerosol plume, spreading disease-causing microbes. Eliminating wet surfaces means no odor-causing chemical reactions typically found in water-fed urinals. Odor is generated primarily by the reaction of water and urine to create ammonia gas. No water, no reaction, no smell. Falcon water-free urinals are the blueprint for a greener restroom. This powerful and widely accepted technology provides cleaner, more hygienic restrooms while protecting the environment. All it takes is a plan to save money and conserve natural resources. The Falcon water-free urinal. Installing the water-free urinal is fast and simple. A typical installation takes about an hour. The urinal comes complete with all the hardware required for new and retrofit installations, including a universal coupler and a unibracket. Also included are the installation instructions. Keep these instructions handy. You'll need to reference them during installation since there are several steps that are unique to this product. For retrofit installations, where you're replacing a flush urinal with the water-free unit, you'll need a drain machine to clean the existing drain. It's essential that the existing drain line is open and clean so that waste and water can naturally flow away. While the installation is not complicated, it's very important to be sure the drain height is correct and the drain line has the proper pitch. Before starting installation, check the rough-in height of the drain pipe according to the installation instructions for the model you are installing. In retrofit installations, shut off the water supply and, using Teflon tape, cap the nipple. A 3/4-inch chrome cap is included with the installation kit. It's the most common supply pipe size. Empty the fixture using a wet-dry vacuum. Next, use a utility knife to cut the caulk around the existing urinal. Do not try to pry the existing urinal off the wall. You can damage the wall or tile. Use a thin, flexible putty knife or scraper and a rubber mallet to remove the bowl. Again, use care to avoid damaging the wall or tile. Remove the old gasket and clean the face of the existing wall flange. Remove the hanger brackets, scrape off caulk, and clean the wall. Use the drain machine with 2-inch side cutter blades to remove scale buildup inside the drain pipe. This is a very important step so there are no obstructions to liquid waste flowing away. Clean as far as possible, up to a depth of 25 to 35 feet, then flush with water to remove cutting debris. Install the brass retainer flange that came with the water-free urinal. Be sure the gasket seal and clear plastic inspection disc are in place to check the pitch on the nipple. If the nipple has no flange, thread the included 2-inch nut on the nipple with the inspection disc in place. Slowly pour a small amount of water into the drain. Use a flashlight to check the pitch of the drain. There should be no water present in the inspection disc or nipple. Remove the flange after inspection. If standing water is present in the inspection disc or nipple, you'll need to adjust the drain to achieve the correct pitch. Code requires a 1/4 inch drop per foot of drain line for proper pitch. You may need to lift the drain nipple and brace it with the provided mending plate. It may be necessary to cut away a small section of wall in order to raise the nipple. This is a very important step. The drain pitch must meet code so that waste can flow away naturally. Follow local building code requirements to repair and seal the wall after adjusting the drain pitch. Measure the rough-in for the unit bracket. It's essential to position the unit bracket correctly. Measure the rough-in height from the floor to the center of the drain line. Then refer to the installation instructions for the correct height of the unit bracket and add this to the rough-in height. Measure and mark with horizontal lines. Find the center of the drain line. Using a carpenter's level, mark a vertical line across the horizontal line. This is the correct location for the center anchor for the unit bracket. To make finding the center point on the unit bracket easier, darken the stamped lines on the unit bracket. Using the unit bracket as a template, mark the proper location for the anchors, being sure the unit bracket is perfectly level. Score the tile or wall with a nail set or punch. Use a drill with a carbide tip masonry bit to drill all 3 holes. Use the proper safety equipment, such as eye protection, when drilling. Install the anchors. Place the unit bracket and screw the unit bracket loosely into place. Check level and tighten the screws completely by hand. If pre-existing bearing rods from an in-wall carrier can be used, the additional screws are not necessary. Vitreous china urinals are heavy. Always use safe lifting practices when handling the urinal. Carefully hang the bowl on the unit bracket. Check the tailpipe alignment. The tailpipe should align with the center of the drain line. It should have a 1/4 inch clearance all the way around the drain. If it does not, note how much distance is required to align the tailpipe, remove the bowl, and adjust the unit bracket as needed. When the tailpipe aligns correctly, mark the lower anchor holes. Carefully remove the bowl without moving the hanger bracket. Determine the drain nipple length by measuring the distance between the back of the sanitary T or elbow to the front edge of the brass flange. Find the drain nipple depth on the cutting chart that's printed on the installation instructions. Mark the specified trim length on the insert tube at the nearest 1/4 inch groove. Carefully cut the tube using a sharp utility knife. Always use a sharp knife and cut carefully. Be sure the cut is square and flat. If present, clean burrs from the cut end with emery paper. Apply lubricant to the outside of the rubber bushing. Place the tube and bushing into the drain nipple with the arrow tab at the top. Place the seal into the flange with the ribs facing out. Install the flange with washer and hex nuts, but do not tighten completely. Drill holes for the lower anchor screws and insert plastic anchors. Lube the outside and ribbed inside of the bushing. Then loosely hang the gear clamp with the screw head at the bottom, but do not tighten. Lube the tailpipe. If no flange is present, insert the tube and tighten the included 2-inch nut on the drain line. Place the gear clamp with the screw head at the bottom. Do not tighten. Carefully hang the bowl, being sure the tailpipe inserts into the bushing properly. There should be no weight on the tailpipe. Tighten the flange bolts and gear clamp. Install the anchor screws with washers. Pour 5 gallons of water into the bowl as rapidly as possible. While pouring, check to ensure proper flow and that there are no leaks or standing water remaining in the housing. Insert the cartridge into the housing. Use the key with the prongs facing down to turn the cartridge to the right clockwise to lock. Remove the diverter shield. Fill the cartridge with fresh water. You'll need a quart or more. Fill until no air bubbles appear. The cartridge must be filled with fresh water before adding the sealant. This is a very important step. The cartridge will work correctly only if it has been filled properly. Add the sealant when the cartridge is filled. Be sure to allow time for the sealant to drain completely into the cartridge. Use the entire contents of the sealant package. After the cartridge is filled with sealant, clean excess sealant and replace the diverter shield. Finally, caulk the bowl to the wall and place the water-free plaque. As you've seen, installing the water-free urinal is not complicated. You can ensure it works correctly and is trouble-free by making sure you followed these important steps. First, the rough-in height must allow for a 24-inch rim height from the finished floor, or 17 inches for an ADA-compliant installation. Rough-in and drain height specifications are listed in the installation instructions. Second, in retrofit installations, the drain must be unobstructed, clean as far as possible to a depth of 25 to 35 feet. Third, the drain line must have the proper pitch per standard plumbing code, so waste can flow away. By following each of the steps outlined in this presentation, you'll find it simple and fast to install the water-free urinal. If you have any questions, call our customer care team, toll-free. To become a certified water-free urinal installer, contact us. Maintaining the water-free urinal is easy. All that's needed is a routine cleaning and replacement of the cartridge every 7,000 uses, or an average of 3 to 4 times a year in typical facilities. To clean, use a recommended cleaner and mist the interior and exterior of the bowl. Allow for dwell time according to the manufacturer's directions. A list of recommended cleaners can be found on the website. Wipe the entire bowl clean, beginning with the outside of the bowl and moving to the inside. Never dump water, cleaning solutions, or other chemicals into the bowl when the cartridge is in place. Remove the diverter shield from the top of the cartridge and dispose of any debris that may be in the bowl. Replace the diverter shield. That's all it takes. Since this is a water-free urinal, there's no water mineral buildup, so you don't need harsh cleaners or scrubbing to keep the urinal clean. Independent studies show that there are fewer bacteria on dry surfaces as compared to wet surfaces. With regular cleaning, water-free urinals have 5 times fewer bacteria than water-flushed urinals. How can you tell when it's time to change the cartridge? After approximately 7,000 uses, flow through the cartridge will start to slow down, similar to a slow sink drain. If you see blue residue in the cartridge or standing fluid, it's time to change the cartridge. You can test the cartridge by pouring about 1 to 2 cups of clean water into the bowl and seeing how quickly it drains. If the flow is slow, it's time to replace. To change the cartridge, begin by verifying the contents of the cartridge replacement kit. Inside the kit you'll find instructions, a disposal bag for the used cartridge, plastic gloves, the new cartridge, and a package of sealant. While a disposable cartridge key is also included, it's best to use the metal key provided with each urinal. Place the disposable bag into the box. You'll need a 5-gallon bucket filled with hot water and disinfectant. You'll also need another gallon container of fresh water to prime the cartridge. First, insert the key into the used cartridge. Be sure the prongs face down as they fit into the holes. Turn the key to the left, or counterclockwise, to unlock the cartridge from the housing. Carefully lift the cartridge and tilt it back on the prongs to drain any liquid. Tilting the cartridge forward may cause it to fall. Place the used cartridge in the disposal bag that you've placed in the new cartridges box. The bag and used cartridge can be discarded into a trash dumpster. The used cartridge is not harmful. Immediately flush the housing with half the hot water and disinfectant. Brush the housing. Flush with the remainder of the hot water and disinfectant. Wipe the inner stainless steel rim clean. Quickly insert the new cartridge into the housing. Use the key to turn the cartridge to the right, clockwise, to lock. The logo should lock at the 12 o'clock position. Remove the diverter shield and fill the cartridge with fresh water. Do not use the hot water with disinfectant to prime the cartridge. Fill until no air bubbles appear. The cartridge must be filled with fresh water before adding the sealant. This is a very important step. The cartridge will work correctly only if it has been filled properly with fresh water. Add the sealant when the cartridge is filled. Be sure to allow time for the sealant to drain completely into the cartridge. Use the entire contents of the sealant package. Wipe excess sealant away and snap the diverter shield into place. That's all there is to it. Routine maintenance of the water-free urinal is fast and easy. For best results when cleaning, be sure to use only recommended cleaners. Never dump water, cleaning solutions, or other chemicals into the bowl when the cartridge is in place. When installing new cartridges, flush the housing with hot water and disinfectant. Brush the housing to clean. Always add fresh water before adding sealant to the cartridge. By following the steps detailed in this presentation, you'll find that maintaining the water-free urinal is quick and easy.